So, what did you did you who did you watch? I guess, or did you didn't? You said you didn't read it.
I just saw Lucky Tempe video.
Oh, okay. You watched that guy.
He was the one that YouTube recommended me. And honestly, man, I'm at the point where I'm like, I've removed all the memes groups from my Facebook. I'm looking at my YouTube algorithm and going, maybe I just unsubscribe from all the Destiny content. Help me cut
Man,
the
you're trying to
cord.
go cold turkey up in this. You can't quit, man. You can't quit us. You're like, watch me quit us, dude.
Give me a good reason why I shouldn't.
I mean, dude, I told you, like, I will watch with an eye, kind of from a distance. Like, I kind of want to be done with it, but it's like there's not. Like, unless they do new things, make the game fresh, which I'm not really saying that what they announced today sounds like a refreshing look of Destiny. There were some new things that they kind of talked about, but I'm like, I don't really know how that's like a huge departure.
Okay. Can you do a favor for me? And in the article where it talks about the new stories or whatever, just do a Control F and look for the word web.
Control F.
There was a quote about, we're telling a story arc over the next couple of years. It's like an interconnected web of stories. Something like that. I'd like to hear that quote exactly.
Think of this multi-year arc as a web, not a line. Each release fits into the larger saga. We can't wait to take you on that journey. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Name me one saga that is like a really good IP that you would say has that storytelling style.
Good.
Lord of the Rings? Would it be like, the freaking Game of Thrones? Like, what are we talking about here? What kind of saga has that storytelling style? Because I think that's all code for we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're going to tell one story at a time and kind of throw it together as we go. And if they're not related, they're not related. We can just toss it off as a piece of irrelevant content because, it's just a one-off story. It's supposed to be fun, bro.
Yeah, damn, dude. It kind of depends on.
You can't name me a single example.
No, so this is what I'm gonna say.
Statement.
It depends on what they mean by this is a multi-year arc. So, are they gonna go down this web? Like over multiple, whatever they call it, seasons or whatever. What they call it? Jesus, this is a long ass article. Over these, I guess seasons and expansions. So like, when they said that all of these seasons will have stories to them, but you don't have to do them in linear fashion, or I guess the expansions or whatever. But they're not going to be in linear fashion. You can go do story A or story D and story C. They don't have to be done in order. I'm trying to find it because it's actually a pretty easy spot to find. And so I don't know if that's what they mean by the different webs. I'm trying to find it. Right here. This is it. So previously in stories like The Final Shape, you experience a story A to B to C to D in a nice straight line. So when you land on a brand new location, the story starts A, and then you can choose if you want to explore C first or to try and get into B or maybe investigate D. So I don't know if that's what they mean by the web over multiple years. Like whenever they introduce a new location, if it's a web of stories tied to that location, but it's not really like.
Do me one more search. Do a Control F and search for the terms Content Vault or DCV.
Let's see if we got DCV. No DCV. Content
Vault.
No content vault.
Okay, so that is a lie.
What do you mean?
And it is a functional lie because they have to retire content to the content vault. So there is an order that you have to experience it in because you have to experience it before they move it to the content vault. So I don't trust it.
No, I'm not saying I trust it at all. And here's the interesting thing. Like, I'm not going to disagree with you.
It's all marketing speak.
Yeah, in a lot of ways it was. Yes, in a lot of ways it was. The thing that was interesting about like the code name Apollo and Behemoth for the Frontiers or whatever, dude, all that is so there's 2 expansions, and then current we used to get 4 seasons throughout a year. Now it's basically like, hey, we're gonna back it down to 3 seasons which are now called episodes, and we'll have different. Oh, what are the things in the 3 different things in the episodes? I don't know. Acts. Yeah, the different acts in the episodes. So now it's like we're gonna get 2 expansions alongside with those expansions. We're gonna get the free content, which is the seasons, and then that's the major update that also comes. And then halfway through one season will be another major update.
Did they say the word season or did they say the word update?
No. All right. So the way they have it lined out in their infographic is starting out in the summer of 2025. There will be an expansion launched, codename Apollo, along with a new season, which is the summer 2025 major update, codename Arsenal. So I don't know why. So that's and then that season, so that season that starts then is going to last half a year. Halfway through that season, there will be a major update in the fall of 2025, codename Surge. So it's gotten really weird where it's like the major updates are kind of like seasons, but they're not seasons. So I'm curious on like how much of a change there really is in those major updates. Like, is there going to be like a new artifact that goes
on the Paving the Way article?
Yeah, paving the way. It's right there at the top.
All right. So it says major update, expansion, major update. So, but then it's one season. So you're getting one season, 2 years. But they say major update.
2 years. Hold on. Where do you get 2 years?
Or one season, 2 expansions per year. Okay.
Yeah. And they mentioned below that instead of doing one large expansion, they're breaking the expansion down and doing like 2 mid-size expansions. Okay.
Are pre-orders live yet?
No. Oh, no. Because they don't have a name to go along with the expansion.
So there's no pricing. Okay. There's no in there. I think they said, there was something along the lines of, we're sharing your aspirational, or there was some sort of out clause that they had. It was like, these plans are subject to change.
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
So basically, they're telling us, here's the roadmap. we think this is what's going to happen, and we're going to tell you this, okay? Now, with Destiny in the state that it's in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how this is different than Anthem's roadmap.
So, I don't remember Anthem's roadmap at all, dude. I mean,
Okay, so do you remember how Anthem basically died, and then it was like, no, we're redoing it, just like whatever that No Man's Sky is. We're gonna pull a No Man's Sky, Anthem 2.0, blah blah blah. Here's our roadmap, and they gave us this roadmap with like a bunch of live events, and then the release of Anthem 2.0.
I didn't pay attention to Anthem that closely.
And
I had no interest
none
outside
of
of that thing launched when that thing launched. Actually, I didn't have any interest in it outside of when I played the beta.
None of that happened.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I would imagine none of that happened.
I'm 99% sure that Sony just straight up owns Bungie at this point, or they will very shortly. And
you're probably not wrong.
Sony just killed Concord 11 days after launch because of the massive losses it took.
Yeah.
If Bungie's model is not financially sustainable, don't you think they're going to do the same thing to Bungie? Like by 2025, when this shit launches, don't you think the player base is going to fall off to the point where it's just not financially viable anymore?
No. So, all right. Hold on. So I got a couple of thoughts, like two. One, we've seen this honestly from Bungie before, and honestly some of the changes that they mentioned about, we're going back to a year model with 4 major updates, even though we're not going to call them seasons, we're going to call them major updates, but that's what seasons used to be. I don't know. So that's kind of weird. But they're going to have 2 seasons that go along the side of expansions. And
I think their version
that might be okay. That might be okay. It depends.
I think their version of a major update is, we're doing a mid-season sandbox refresh. Major update.
Yeah, no, I won't disagree with that. I think you're probably right. Just different way to play the content that's active, right? Because it's all going to be within one season. Like, hey, here's the season. Here's
for 6 fucking months.
Yeah, I know. The other thing I'll say is, so they put out in this article 2 new people, Tyson Green and Allison, whoever. And
Tyson's been there forever. He's not new.
Right. Well, as far as like being a frontman for the game, that he might have been around for a while, 15 years I think is what they said, but like how much creative direction did he have, right?
He's actually been the lead for like a lot of the older stuff. I think you can go back and find him in older Vidocs.
Okay. Okay.
Like late Destiny 1, early Destiny 2 kind of stuff.
Okay. But here's the thing. By getting rid, I get it, the layoffs. There's a lot of layoffs and stuff, especially happened over the past year or two. Well, a year, I guess. Mm-hmm. Bringing in new people brings in new ideas and new perspectives and stuff.
Sure.
Not to say that it's good, not to say that it's bad. But I mean, if people are wanting Destiny to have better and different experiences, I mean, it's sometimes you just need to bring in new people. And
do you think they're bringing in new people, or do you think they're just laying off and keeping some of the existing people?
I mean, they got rid of a lot of top level dudes, man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they got rid of everybody that's been there for 15 to 20, 30 years, but I mean, they got rid of some pretty high level guys. So
they got rid of people whose stock was about the best.
You're not wrong. Not wrong. I'm not trying to defend them. I'm not trying to defend Bungie and the executives. I'm not trying to do that. All I'm saying is, like, if you want to see Destiny go in a new direction, all right. I mean, as far as like maybe some of the stuff that they did mention, as far as trying to do like non-linear story, um, I mean, could be interesting. I mean, how many steps was the story that we had, the quest that we had when we did when we went through the final shape and the pale heart? It was like 70 steps. I mean, come on, dude. It's easy to like you could break that up into like 25 steps, and most new locations have 3 zones, and you say, "Hey, go to that zone for 25 steps, go to that zone for 25 steps, go to that zone for 25 steps," and then you can't complete the final little mission of whatever story or campaign you're trying to tell until you complete all 3 of those. So it's like, okay, it's like a web, and it comes right back to where you would be in the end anyways.
But Shadow, nobody wants that kind of a checklist.
I get that, and that's what I'm saying. Like I that's what I'm saying. It's like you're taking 75 steps on a quest, but now you're just gonna split it up into 3 different quests and call it 25 steps. Like it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't know. They said they're going to be sharing more information coming forward. Like, it's people have been wondering what the fuck is coming from Destiny, you know, down the line, coming forward. And you got something. You got something. That's all I'm saying. Like, hey, okay. Sounds like they might have an idea. They have a multi-year story. Okay. So
they're pulling a Destiny 1.
Well, I'm not going to say they're not going to try to hoodwink people, but
they're saying we have a multi-year arc. Blah, 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 blah. When Destiny 1 was in development, they had no idea what the fuck the arc even was. They scrapped the story, restarted it halfway through, like a year, 18 months out, right? So they have a multi-year arc that they're starting. It's a, quote, web of interconnected stories because they want to protect themselves in case it starts going the wrong direction or they don't like it or whatever, and they just spin off a new story and they just completely pivot. And I don't know, man. The whole Destiny mindset of I have to be so elitist and so good, and oh well, the casual players can't play with us because they don't have the right set of gear, or we're gonna put this really get good mentality objectives into certain titles and things like that just make them not even realistic for 99.999% of the player base. Like, it's dumb. I'm done with it.
Wow. Dad, I would always play with you.
Sure. But does that... Okay, so this last raid was a real wake-up call for me. Because I was one of the people who was like, hey, like, we need to gear you up, and I try and take people through raids and stuff like that, but you need to understand what's going on and blah, 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 and you need these certain types of guns and try and put on this piece of gear or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I was trying to learn the new raid on my own, I was on the receiving end of that stick, and it did not feel good. And I don't want to do that to other people anymore. It's a very divisive game at the heart of it, and there's too many skill brackets and too many barriers that prevent people from playing with each other at every skill level.
Hot take. And maybe not totally wrong.
Like, how? Okay, so if you're gonna tell a buddy about Destiny, right? And imagine that somehow he has lived in an isolation chamber for the last 10 years just playing Sid Meier's Civilization 6. But he kind of likes Call of Duty from back when Civilization 6 first came out. And he kind of likes World of Warcraft because that existed back then too. But he's lived in a bubble for 10 years.
Hold on. Who are you talking about? Someone specifically?
No, I'm not. Just a theoretical friend of yours who's lived in a bubble for 10 years.
Sounds like my bubble.
How are you going to go, okay, here's this new game called Destiny, and I'm going to teach you everything about it. How are you going to ramp him up to speed in such a way that's like, okay, well, there's this really complex power level system. Don't worry about it. There's all these things that you got to do to masterwork your armor. Don't worry about it. Here's all the mods. Well, half of them suck. Don't worry about it. Okay, cool. Now here's all the guns, and you have to collect every gun, and you have to get every pattern for every gun, and you have to do all these things. And you don't have the materials for that, but there's no way to acquire that. It's a time limited material, and go fuck yourself. Like, how are you going to get that new player into the game? You can't.
I would agree on power level, and obviously we're not talking about a number here. We're just talking about like being able to hit certain damage type metrics, power level metas. And that was one thing that became very clear over the past 2 years, that if you didn't have the right fucking, actually not even 2 years, maybe even 2-3 years, but if you didn't have the right fucking guns, you weren't getting done. You were not getting the damage, even on normal mode. And that was clear going back to Valve Disciple. I would say Valve Disciple was probably, I would say, the first raid that I would really say it was that way. I'm trying to think. DSC, I would say DSC wasn't really that way. There was a couple of different ways that you could.
You remember the double shotgun anarchy meta? Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes, that was the meta, but that was the meta to like one phase them. That wasn't just to complete it. Like, there was plenty of other ways to complete it.
How many people do you think were trying to not one phase him? If you came in, you're like, hey guys, I have a rocket launcher and 2 blue auto rifles. Wasn't getting done.
Well, first off, who's going in? Like, dude, no. It's no. 2 blue auto rifles and a rocket launcher is like, no. Like, anybody, because you can have a special weapon. You can have. It's easy to get a special weapon. It's easy to get shotguns. It might not be a slug shotgun, but back then, that was not the only way to get that raid done. When you went into DSC, or not DSC, when you went into Val and Rolk, like, in the beginning, it was linears with Divinity. And also, I'll say Thunderlord and Divinity. And that was about the 2 ways people were getting it done. I think later on, people started throwing down well and doing slugs on Rolk, but it was kind of a pain in the ass because Rolk could stomp your freaking well and then whatever. But that was, to me, that was like the first real raid where it's like, dude, if you don't have a certain weapon, you're probably just not getting it done. So I would agree with you on the fact that it has become very much too much of a barrier to like get certain things done if you don't have certain weapons. Like, I would agree with you on that. But I mean, that definitely did start like 3 years ago with DSC. God damn it, not DSC, with Val. I'm trying to remember if any of the dungeons were like that. I can't really think of any dungeons that were really like that. I mean, there's some dungeons that are much more optimal to do a certain way over another, but due to the fact that there's no real wipe mechanic in dungeons, it's not really a problem. I don't know. I feel like I'm just talking now for 10 minutes and my buddy's not talking anymore.
I just look at Destiny and part of me wants to go back and play it, but I don't want to go back to the way it was, and I don't want to constantly hope and get my hopes up and be disappointed.
Wait, but hold on, but what were you disappointed? What have you been disappointed about? Like, I don't know. I've had fun when I played Destiny. When I play with, all the people in our clan, but I mean the clan's pretty much not existent right now.
I keep wanting Bungie to make changes to the game that make logical sense. And the problem is that there's no sole vision for the game, that it kind of keeps changing hands depending on what expansion we're in. And so we swing from this like very approachable, very fun to play, very good feeling game. Everybody can gear up. Everybody can pretty much, get to that beast mode level if they put in the time. And then it swings all the way back to, okay, now the only most elite and ultra hardcore and things like that are going to get all the gear. And that to me just feels really bad. I feel like in the Season of Arrivals, it was that very open, very approachable, hey, everybody's looking forward, this is going to be great. And then, Deepstone Crypt hit, or I forgot what that expansion was called.
Beyond Light.
Beyond Light hit, Stasis happened. That was actually a really fun expansion, even though a lot of people don't like it. I really love the lore with it. I loved everything going on with it. And the raid was fun to play. And then we've kind of slowly swung back to all these different things that are you've got to solo dungeons now. You've got to do this. And meanwhile, while they're increasing the difficulty,
you don't have to.
Well, if you want to get to like that level of, okay, I want the title, or I want this, or I want that, then yeah, you do. Like if
Well, nobody says you have to have all that stuff.
That's true, but you look at all these different things that they're wanting you to do, and I just get to this point where it was like, okay, I've gilded Conqueror X amount of times, I've gotten so many raid seals, literally I have every raid seal except for the Witness raid seal. I've gotten pretty much every major milestone in the game done, and Bungie as a company is super indecisive. They impose politics into the game all over the place, and it's been a really refreshing break to play other games that just don't have that shit in it.
Yep, I agree with that.
Their monetization strategy is super heavily monetized. What they didn't tell you with this 2 major expansions, which is part of what they should have told you, is they're probably going to charge $100 for each expansion.
Oh yeah, they won't sell shit if that happens, and yeah, they won't do that.
Well, I mean, so if they have 1 season, 2 major expansions, are you thinking they're going to charge $50 each?
Like, honestly, my initial thoughts was like $40.
that's really stupid. What they need to do is turn Destiny into a subscription.
That would also make sense. And then and this goes back to something that we talked about before. I would agree with that. They need to just do away with the expansion thing, and them breaking up like a yearly expansion into 2 mid expansions twice a year. Like that's, I mean, you're slowly doing that, and they should do that. They should just.
But you're not, because if someone comes in right now and they're like, "Oh, I want to buy this Apollo expansion," they still don't have access to all the old content. They still have to put up like hundreds of dollars to get the full experience to the game.
I agree, and that's probably why they don't do it. Right? I mean, it's like, well, someone comes in, they just pay $10, rather than the people that have already paid hundreds to access all of that content before. Like, how do you then tell your existing customers, like, hey, we're now going to charge you $10 a month? You know, I mean, I don't know how you kind of get around telling new players and your existing players like how to commingle on that decision. It's kind of a tough one.
I don't think that's a. I don't think that's a. You tell them to commingle. I think that's a.
You don't. No, it's not like like they're commingling. I'm just commingling on their reaction, like because they're not gonna have the same reaction. Obviously, if you go to a subscription, whether it's $10 or $15, $20 a month, the new player, like if you're giving them the back catalog of everything, the new player is going to win out by far. The existing player who's paid hundreds of dollars to have all that content is probably not going to be too thrilled about it. But, just what I'm thinking.
I think that Bungie's model has proven that they really just don't care. Like I
think they need to go to Destiny 3 or Destiny Infinite or whatever they want to call it.
I don't think they can do that because they're going to be worried about taking the financial hit.
What do you mean financial hit?
From losing the player base. Do you know how many players they shed when they went from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2?
Let's see.
Do you know how many players they're at now?
Nope.
Less than 500,000.
Oh, they're way less than that.
So I looked at their population just a second ago using the Charlemagne bot, and it said that their September 8th and 9th statistics, their overall percent is 433,000. And that's overall. That's across everything.
You said it was 483,000? Damn. Dude.
433,000.
Oh, 433.
Yep. So my take on that is that is not great for them.
Oh yeah, that's not.
And it's going to hit a point where it's not financially viable.
I mean, I would agree. I would definitely agree. Trying to find Destiny, the first one. I'm trying to look up Destiny, the first one in Steam charts, and I can't find it.
Because it wasn't released on Steam, it's on console.
Oh, console only? Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah, Destiny 2 came to BattleNet first, and then it was converted from BattleNet to Steam.
So, shit.
And eventually Stadia. There may be a way to
Because like I was gonna look and
do it using the
compare.
bot, though. Hang on.
I was gonna look and compare what the active players of Destiny was in 2015, and then compare that to players playing Destiny 2 in 2016. Because I'd imagine there's a lot of people that probably picked up Destiny 1 and they're like, yeah, this isn't for me. And then probably just never played Destiny again at all. And like those players, like those people, even though they're in the Destiny 1 count, like, yeah, you shouldn't count those people in comparison Destiny and Destiny 2. But dang, dude, look, that is a drop off, baby. Yeah, you can definitely see where the expansion came in. Damn, Steam charges under 35,000.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, over the past year, lowest point over the past year. Damn. I mean, as far as like the expansion or update or all the information they showed off today, it's like, yeah, you know what? Like, cool. Sounds like they at least have a plan going forward. I mean, doesn't mean anything if they can't execute on it. And I don't care. You know, last year when I stepped away and I came back, like I didn't care about doing all the hard stuff, dude. It's fucking mind grueling because a lot of that stuff takes multiple people to get that shit done, and I would rather get that stuff done with clan members than not, or people I want to play with. And that was the thing is like we don't. I mean, we didn't have the kind of clan to do that easily, quickly, or anything like that. And so it's like I'm not gonna grind out multiple days to get like one little fucking thing done. It's like coming back and just being casual with it, much better. Much better.
Yes, indeed.
And it's like, and that's the whole, what was that raid gauntlet thing that you guys were doing?
Pantheon?
Yeah, Pantheon. And I was like, dude, I'm not getting sucked into that shit. It was like, even when you guys asked me to kind of like tag along with you, I was like, I just have to remember, like, yeah, dude, I'm just here to help. Not trying to get this done myself. That was about the only way I fucking maintained sanity.
I get it, man.
And it's like, how do you get stuff done in Diablo? Like, there's certain builds, right? There's certain builds that are like the only way to kind of get certain thing done, right?
So, no. I mean, yes, but no.
Well,
with every class, there's one or two meta builds per season, right?
That sounds like Destiny, but keep going.
Well, sounds like Destiny, but you use that build in everything in the game. And so everything is progressing towards that build. It's not, oh, let me take off this to put on that for this other activity. It's just that build. So
I get you. I know. Yeah.
Fine tuning the same pieces of equipment to the point where they're just super ultra top tier. It's about that really in-game chase for uber uniques. And I've played 9 characters and gotten them to level 100 this season, dude. It has been a blast because I've been able to, and we still got a month left in the season. So I've been able to play all the meta builds on every class and get all of them to a very playable state. And I've focused on one because that's kind of the one that I want to pick to be my main, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no, hey, we need you to be XYZ, even though you don't want to be that because we need to complete this activity. There's no raids. They're introducing a new activity with the new expansion that might have some raid light mechanics, but there's no raids in Diablo. There's just seeing how good your build is and then testing that build against harder and harder pit content. Which the pit is like an activity where it's like they just continuously scale up the monsters, and so you just see, and it's not a horde mode. It's like, typically a 2 to 3 minute run through some mobs, and there's a boss at the end, and you got to kill the boss, and then you've cleared that level, and then you change your build, and you just keep pushing the highest levels. And in the live, like in the live game, there's nobody that's cleared pit level 200. So it's essentially scaled way past the point where builds can do it, right? So you just see how good you can get and how high you can climb in those pits with the various builds, right?
Okay.
Now in the PTR, the public test realm, stuff is just super broken. So it's like people are just blasting through the hardest content in the game and going, haha, look at me, I'm killing everything. Which is fun in its own way too, right?
Yep.
But then they do some tuning after some feedback and stuff like that. And then that's what releases to live. So yeah, I don't know, man.
So I'm kind of. I mean, I don't know. Did you look at the change on like core game rewards? I know they mentioned that in the base article, but then they have like other articles. Did you see any of that?
I have not looked at that. No.
Okay. So I want to see more of this, but they did mention rewards dropping with like game difficulty or gear and challenge should matter. I guess in that section, and like they have a whole nother article which I was actually going to go through. But basically, they kind of talk about weapon and armor tiers. So I wonder if that's kind of like what you're talking about, like building up an armor or leveling up weapons along with the difficulty and what you do it. Like that's what I've been wanting. I don't know what's taking them so long to figure that out.
Well, what weapon and armor level tiers? Describe to me what you mean by that.
I don't know. I got that's just I'm just reading you like a bolded out heading in this article. Let me read this. Legendary weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality tiers that layer on properties like stat bonuses, enhanced perks, and other benefits. For weapons, this will be similar to how adept weapons upgrade the baseline legendary. The baseline tier of legendary weapons and armor will be equivalent to current day legendaries. The higher tiers being generally equivalent to adept weapons in terms of upgrade. So I'm curious on how many tiers there will be. They have a screenshot here with an auto rifle with tier 5. So how many tiers is there, and does all that respond to difficulty? Like you got to go through like 5 difficulty tiers. Like what is it? Adept and master, grandmaster, all that kind of shit. Adept, legend, master, grandmaster, whatever. So
Yeah, that sounds good.
yeah, I know. That's
But
what I'm
how
saying. Like I want to see. I want to see. Like,
that's more layers and barriers to entry, man. Like,
well, dude, you shouldn't just hop in the game and go to the hardest content.
no, you shouldn't.
Okay, then what the hell are you talking about?
Like, for example, in Diablo,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I can invite someone who's making a brand new character. Doesn't mean they're new to the game, but they're just making a new character, right? I said, all right, we're gonna power level you, and we power level that person from 1 to 85 in a day. That's what we did with Caleb. And then once he hit 85, we're like, okay, cool. Here's some extra gear we have. We threw a bunch of gear at him. He was able to quickly make a build. And then, he has a little work to do on his own, but it's a huge catch up mechanic because someone who's been playing Rogue for like, I don't know, like 10 minutes is mostly like 80% caught up with the person who's been playing Rogue for almost a month, right?
mm-hmm.
Because it's like he's got the extra gear to give him. So unless you've got stuff like that in Destiny where it's like, hey man, let me help power level you, let me catch you up to where you're at, blah blah blah. There's not going to be the ability for Destiny to have player growth, sustainability as a game, because Destiny's model has always revolved around we don't give a fuck about the people who are quitting. We're bringing in new players and bringing back old players because we're just getting in more than we're losing, right? And if you don't have that getting in more than you're losing, Destiny's gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. Like to me, this is what I
So
was really surprised that they didn't do. Keep going, keep going. I heard you. You didn't. You didn't. You weren't done. Keep going.
yeah, so that's where I come at it from, the looking at it with how do you catch up a fresh player? How do you get them ramped up quickly? How do you get them into the end game? It's kind of hard, man.
Yeah, but I mean, not everybody just wants to go to the end.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
But I would say that most people want to play with their friends. And if
I,
their friends are in the end game, then that's where they want to be.
right. And I would
And nobody
say,
wants to go back and play old content.
yeah. So one thing that was really interesting about this is one thing I absolutely love about what game was that came out recently that was free to play?
First
Descendant.
Ascendant.
Descendant. Yeah, First Descendant. The thing I liked about that game is that I'm able to level up my stuff um keep my, like you were saying, keep my build, I can keep my build together and I can level up my gear, my weapons. So like armor and weapons in Destiny. And to me those are kind of like humble brags, right? Because it kind of tells you how much time you've put into the game, or things like that. And I don't know why, like Destiny, like they have the perfect tier system. They have white weapons, they have green weapons, they have blue weapons, they have purple weapons. Like not
And exotic weapons. Yep.
say what?
And exotic weapons.
And
But yeah,
exotic
go ahead.
weapons, yeah, exotics. But like, I mean, you could definitely set it up that way. If you're playing on the base tier, then you get white rewards or something like that, and you can make it. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe you don't want to do it that way. I just because from historical purposes, like for the catalog that Destiny has built, like their catalog is so deep in the purple tier type or the purple like legendary stuff that obviously you don't want to go back to like having a whole catalog of white weapons and green weapons because I think that there's like 3 in the fucking game, you know. So obviously you probably don't want to do that, but you can go with a solution that I thought of like a year or two ago, 2 years ago, where it's like you get a legendary weapon and you get your first column, and then you got to do something to unlock your second column. You got to do something to get your third, and then your fourth column. And like maybe, you do something, whatever the higher difficulty stuff to unlock or get materials to unlock said weapon perk slot. I don't know.
So I think that you are perfectly voicing the frustration that so many Destiny players have, which is I thought of this awesome solution to this problem. It's so evident to me. Why can't Bungie figure this shit out?
Why can't they diet?
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. No. Yeah, it's
I've been having that frustration since Destiny 1.
Right. And I complete like you see other games implement features like that or systems like how people would like it implemented in Destiny, and it's like, why can't y'all just do this? Like so many other games are doing it this way, and Bungie's like, no, we're gonna do it our way. And everybody's like, bro, we don't give a shit for that way.
In a lot of ways, Blizzard's the same way, dude. The exact same way.
Every game company's the exact same way. But I would tend to agree that if I want to make a build like that, and that's one thing that was really nice about the first Descendant is there was no real meta builds.
I would push back on that a little bit. If you're doing the bossing, there are certain builds that just did not work. Like if that boss was super strong against electric damage and you're running on Bunny, shit ain't happening.
All right. Okay. All right.
So you need the different descendants to gear out for the different scenarios, but just in general, yeah.
Okay, I would agree with that. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see what all they show off with this weapon and armor tiers thing, because most of what I would like to see as solutions isn't so much of I would like to see the gameplay this way as it is I would like to see it done this way, because the goddamn inventory management in that game is so fucking bad.
Well, and how? Okay, so these new weapon and armor tiers, how is that going to work with all your crafted weapons and crafted weapons?
I don't fucking know,
is this
man.
Going to be a new? Is this going to be a new way of soft sunsetting weapons?
All right, hold on. Here's a TLDR. They put out a TLDR. So weapons and armor will be available in a deeper range of quality across a wider range of activities. Core game activities will have dedicated reward pools for different categories of activities.
Okay, so Gambit weapons and Gambit, got it.
Yeah, pretty much. Gear will be labeled new gear during the season it is introduced and is easier to recognize and build craft around. I mean, okay, I guess, because I mean that's okay. Not the craziest thing, because I mean you still have the freaking seasonal logo on the weapon, so you can still see like what's new. Anyways, whatever. Does frequently asked questions. New gear. Does new gear mean old gear is being sunset? No, not at all. Existing gear remains unchanged and ready to use in any activity except those set aside for experimenting with new gear.
Okay, so they're going to restrict your loadouts in certain activities. That's what I'm hearing.
All right, hold on. Let me reread that. Existing gear remains unchanged and ready to use in any activity except those set aside for experimenting with new gear.
Well, it has
Hold
to be
on.
though, right?
Hold on. Is that going
Because it has to be,
ready
right? Because the
for
way that
any activity?
what was it? There was some sort of new interaction with the way that weapons were working with this expansion that made sunset weapons be auto. Oh, it was the fire team power. So they can't sunset anything because the fire team power is going to jack up whatever weapons you have
Yeah.
to whatever weapon level is appropriate.
Yeah.
So they can't sunset stuff and be like, okay, well, this is just no longer viable because power level reasons, right? So they're having to do a new way to make people not use older weapons. So now they're coming up with certain activities that you can't use your older weapons
So I
in.
don't think it's an activity thing. Hold on. So it can be infused to achieve the same power as any newly introduced gear. The only specific advantage to using new gear will be some artifact synergies comparable to origin trait upgrades found on existing artifacts. So to me, this
Go
says,
back and read the first sentence again.
okay, so I'm going to reread this whole thing. Does new gear mean old gear is being sunset? No, not at all. Existing gear remains unchanged and ready for use in any activity except
Except
all right, hold on. So except those set aside for experimenting with new gear. So existing gear remains unchanged and ready for use. Except so this is where I
the
think what
big
it is. It's going to be two different gear systems. It's going to be the old gear system, which is what we have now, and then there's going to be a new gear system, which it sounds like is going to be a sunset mechanic to the new system. Because those set aside for experimenting with new gear. So it sounds like you would be able to play new activities, any activity, with your old gear. But if you're going to play around with the new gear, you need to have a full build loadout from your head to your boots to your weapons with the new gear to, so it's not like you can mix and match the old gear and new gear. That's kind of, maybe that's the way I'm understanding it. I don't know. Can I still obtain old gear? Absolutely. Exclusive gear will remain available from older activities such as raid dungeons and or destinations. So I wonder if that means world drops are going to change, because they don't mention world drops. They're talking about exclusive gear in this question. What's happening with weapon crafting? Oh, all right, here we go. Weapon crafting is not going away and will continue to be a way to craft a specific role of a weapon. Our intent is for weapon crafting going forward to provide a catch-up mechanism for roles you weren't able to nab from the original source. This may be because that source is no longer available or was gated by lockouts when it was. But ultimately, we want crafting to support the weapon chase and not replace it. We will follow up with more details in a future article. So it sounds like Destiny's going to stay a looter shooter, and maybe 6 months after a weapon or a weapon source releases, you would be able to craft said weapon, is maybe what I'm understanding here. Or maybe 3 months after, whenever they do a major update, we're like, hey, okay, we're introducing major update. If you never got the role you wanted, you can go get the role you wanted. I don't know. Yeah, I think just more. They just need to show this stuff off in detail, I guess. There's a lot of different ways to interpret some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested. That's all I'm saying. I'm interested. Okay. I'm not going to hop in the fucking game expecting great things coming right now. But
Destiny has an inherent problem in that it has had the same gameplay experience for 10 years.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And some people love that gameplay experience, and some people are like, I'm just tired of it. I want something new and something different. And so you log into Destiny, and if you're tired of Destiny, you're still going to have to play Vanguard Ops and Gambit and Crucible to do whatever you got to do. Right? And that's just part of the Destiny experience. And I don't know, man. Like, that's just not, it's not doing it for me anymore. Yeah. Raiding was kind of like my last bastion of hope. And with this last expansion, it took it out of me, man.
No, that's not what took it out of you. That Pantheon took it out of you. All right. So here's another one. Core game activities, TLDR. Core game activities feature a wider variety of new and updated activities across many types, with an updated selection every major update. Challenge customization will provide a way to adjust activity difficulty with better rewards for those seeking more challenge. The new portal screen allows for quick access to core game activities, making it easier to find what you want to play. So yeah, I don't know if you also saw or heard, but they're changing the title screen, or the director screen, I guess. And there was someone, and it's very similar to what someone put out this past year on...
As a leak?
Say what?
They put out as a leak? Or
no, this is in one of the articles. The portal is what they're calling it, but it's basically TLDR. The portal will offer several categories of activities, each with a wide selection of new and updated activities. Refresh every 3 months with each major update. All activities in the portal will provide update and worthwhile rewards, so it'll be easy to find something to play. The destination map will be cleaned up and focused on world navigation and accessing older activities. So it looks, I don't know, there was a guy that made a blueprint, or a template UI change that needed to come for Destiny's like director menu to find things, because the way it is now, it's by location, and if you're new into the game, you don't know where things are located at. And it was a really good point. It was a really good point the guy made. It's like, oh shit, yeah, if you've been playing for the past several years, you know where everything's located at. But what he was saying is like, as you're new to this game, to the games, like you don't know where shit's at, and you don't know how to like get involved and stuff like that into the game. And what he was saying is like make stuff easier to find right there on the home screen, like solo player stuff, you know, PvP, all that, all everything kind of more in your face right there on the front screen, and that's kind of what they're showing off here on this portal screen. It's kind of like the way that guy did it. Anyways, so yeah, it was kind of it was very interesting to see that. What about Gambit? Gambit will remain available from the destination map, but will not be rolled into the portal categories at the start of next year. We're still figuring out our plan for the beloved game mode, and we have some ideas ranging from closer integration into the Crucible category to standalone events that feature it. So they're going to try and really change up Gambit, it seems like.
They just need to take it out of the game, dude.
I would agree. I'd agree. Unless you made it competitive, that's probably the only way you maybe would make Gambit somewhat good, is you made it competitive.
I mean, they tried to make it competitive and it failed. I really think for Destiny to be in a healthy place, they know they have player spikes and dips, and they just need to embrace it and be like, okay, cool, we're a straight PvE only game. And they need to take the existing game and like be like, all right, so here's what's gonna happen. Destiny 2 is converting to Destiny 3. If you already have Destiny 2, you've already got a Destiny 3 account, and just slowly convert the game over time. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way. Like, if they make people buy it again, it's not going to go over well. And these UI systems sound like they're kind of doing that, but I don't know, man.
I mean, I'll be curious to see what happens. Sounds like they got some things cooking. Obviously, there was a lot of issues with the game, with Destiny, from getting new people acclimated and actually involved in the game without them feeling lost on the director screen, to like you said, getting a build and loadout, leveling it up. I think that's a pretty good point. A lot of other games do it so much better. So yeah, that's.
I mean, and if they allowed gear trading, because with the crafting system, right? Like, you're already getting your god tier rolls, right? So if they allowed gear trading, it would be fine. Like, it wouldn't be a problem.
So one of the things that they did kind of mention with gear that had me kind of hopeful, I didn't really mention it, but it kind of had me thinking, where is this at? So like with the weapon crafting stuff, our intent is for weapon crafting going forward to provide a catch-up mechanism for rolls you weren't able to nab from the original sources. This may be because that source is no longer available or was gated by lockouts when it was, but ultimately we wanted the crafting to support the weapon chase and not replace it. We'll follow up with more details in a full article. That makes me think that they're
not going to have any more craftable weapons.
No, no. I actually think they're going to have every weapon will be craftable. That's what I think with that. Because that's kind of the way that I take this kind of first sentence, where our intent is for weapon crafting going forward to provide a catch-up mechanism for rolls you weren't able to nab from the original source. Now, I think it's just going to be a time delay thing. I really do. I think as you go to the next major update, whatever you want to
Wait,
call it.
read that sentence again. We want crafting to be a catch-up mechanic.
Yeah, our
But when you,
intent is for crafting going forward to provide a catch-up mechanism for roles you weren't able to nab from the original sources. So to me, that's like delayed weapon crafting. That's what that says to me.
okay,
I mean, that's the way I kind of think about that in my head. Like, hey, we and they kind of even said that in like the
unless
next.
they come up with some sort of currency that's like generic weapon pattern, and you farm for generic weapon patterns, and then you can craft a gun. But like, if you have to get 5 weapon patterns
I don't know.
for
I
a
don't know.
gun that's no longer obtainable,
I
how does that work?
well that and well okay. So I agree with you, and I don't know. It might just be when you move to the next major update, the weapon patterns just unlock for you. That they might just go to that. Right? Because that's kind of what they say. They said they wanted it to be a catch-up mechanism. And then in the next sentence they say this may be because that source is no longer available or was gated by lockouts when it was. So to me that kind of says like you're not able to get it, like no longer available. Like that source is no longer available. So obviously you wouldn't be able to get the weapon pattern. So to me, that just kind of says it's going to be a time gated weapon crafting.
Or you could get it through world drops, you know.
Ah, dude, fuck that. That loot pool is so massive. Unless they made it like one. Dude, the world drop loot pool is so freaking large. And it gets like that by the end of like every year, and because they hardly ever cycle stuff out from that, they usually just wind up adding more stuff into it. They don't ever take stuff away from the world drop bucket. But ultimately, we want crafting to support the weapon chase, not replace it. So that and yeah, the not replace it part, that's another thing that kind of says to me like it's going to be time gated weapon crafting.
Which is just not.
I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm okay with that. It's not horrible. To me, where I think they really like they screwed the pooch in a big way with weapon crafting is when they said enhanced perks. Once they did that, I was like, that is that was so
Well,
bad.
they just didn't go full send with it. They didn't make everything in the game craftable. It would have been fine if nothing in the game was craftable, or fine if everything in the game was craftable. They didn't go full send. They did a half measure, and now they're in this really weird fucking spot.
Yeah. Well, yes, I would agree with that because I mean that's kind of what I said. I mean, when they announced it, I was like, why are they not just doing, you know, every weapon craftable? But the thing that the thing that set weapon craftable weapons apart from non-craftables was the enhanced perks. It's like, which one are you going to take? A rocket launcher with enhanced perks or a rocket launcher without enhanced perks? I'll take the rocket launcher with enhanced perks. So I mean, I don't know. I'd be curious to see more of like what the hell they're talking about here with weapon crafting. But I think that's what it is. I think it's going to be a delayed weapon crafting system. And we actually had another screenshot. Yeah, so they're not getting rid of enhanced perks because they have a screenshot here of an auto rifle and it has enhanced perks. Even the origin trait is an enhanced perk. And on the left side, they actually have a panel, kind of a different panel that I haven't seen before. Oh, that's the highlight when you hover over the weapon. The little quick info graphic.
I will say this, man. Like, the one thing I miss about Destiny is just hopping on any given night and being like, "What's up, boys? What are we playing tonight?" You know what I mean?
Do you want to get on right now and we can do that?
No, I don't. I don't.
I almost
Um,
got him. I almost got him.
like I miss the camaraderie to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah, I know. I get it, and it's like I I put out a video, kind of hitting on like, hey, I'm not surprised that Destiny's kind of done after 10 years. Like they mentioned it 10 years ago that it's gonna be a 10-year plan, and people were like, no, they blah 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 plan. They said that had a plan going forward. I was like, well, they are releasing new content, so there you got that. But people are so emotional about it because they made friends. Like, I mean, people got emotionally invested. They don't want, their friendships to go away and stuff like that. And I get it. I get it. But, I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes. I mean, I'd be curious to see what they do going forward, how they change the game. The game probably does need a major rework.
Dude, I'll be honest. I haven't turned on my Xbox. I'm about to turn it on. I haven't turned it on in about a week or maybe 2 weeks, except to pull updates. Like,
You pull
just not using
updates
it.
and
There's
then you
no,
turn it back off.
pretty much. I mean, there's kind of no point, you know. Um, I mean,
I'm trying to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll be. I mean, all this is very high level
very high
stuff
level, very vague, a lot
that
of
they've said
promises.
before. Hey, we have changes coming to like, and this is massive. Like they're talking about like redoing the entire game, like a rework over the entire game. Like, hey, the director menu, we're gonna change it and call it Portal. Um, New reward and difficulty levels and rewards based on your difficulty level and a content path going forward is going to be where is that? Yeah, codename Frontiers with Apollo and Behemoth, and those are going to be expansions alongside launching with seasons. And that's no different than what we have now. I mean, those expansions, those could just be the paid for content within seasons. Honestly, it could be nothing different. So basically, you could be moving to 2 seasons a year, and then like a halfway point between it through that season, you have what they say a major update, where you have a little bit of a sandbox mashup. Yeah, I mean it is all high level stuff. I do want to see what the freak they meet on some of these details, but they they said they have a multi-year plan. Cool. Sounds like they got a direction to go. I will be very interested to see more about it because I do enjoy playing Destiny. I don't like the grind. I don't like the game management. Actually, I don't mind the grind. I don't mind the grind so much. But I want to feel like going
I
through and
don't
playing different
I don't
difficulty levels should be challenging along the way, and I'm leveling up to go to the next level, to play the next difficulty level, and
I don't
then
mind the grind so long as I'm playing it with friends and I'm having fun. I don't want to sit there and feel
oh,
like, oh, I have to go into this playlist when other people aren't online, because when people are online, I want to do the fun stuff. So now I have to go into this playlist when other people aren't online just to grind out weapon patterns that
Yeah.
some of them I don't even really want, just so I can be caught up in case something's meta in the future or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I don't, and I
I
know if I get back into Destiny, that's what it's gonna be. Like Batchit said something today about some sort of legendary armor set in the
her
in the
message just like a
Paleheart
little bit ago.
Tower.
Are you talking about her message a little bit ago? D1 armor set
Yeah,
in the Pale Heart Tower? Yeah.
yeah, I have no idea what that means.
I mean, probably just a
So I'm gonna.
legendary D1 armor set. Yeah, and I don't care. I'm not gonna log on for an armor set. Like, dude, I have great
Log
armor.
on to get
Like,
it
I
for the
don't.
account, like for the transmog.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it, man.
So they're showing they have a picture here. God damn, dude, this is so scammy because it's just like I can make this image on a damn PowerPoint, dude. So they have a Glassway difficulty selector screen here. All right, hold up. Dude, I gotta get it.
What article is this?
This is the oh, shit. Give me a sec. This is one of the articles. It's called Developer Insight Core Game Activities.
Okay.
Let me go tinkle, man. I'll be right back. Oh man, that felt so good. Nope. Hold on. I got a group chat. Someone saying happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. Are you still there? Or did you go take a nap? He went to go take a nap. All right. So this is why I had to get up. Man, I couldn't see Can see this from back there. So the Glassway Strike. So there's 6 different difficulties. 6 difficulties. Hot damn. There is Expert Strike Europa. Okay, that's all normal. Overview rules, gameplay. Enemy power scoring. Oh. So you got advanced. Oh man, I'd be curious to see at what level each one of these kind of tags on different different rewards here. So you got advanced 3. What happened to advanced 1 and 2? So you get advanced 3 and 4. You got expert 1, 2, and 3. And you got master. And they all and honestly, even though it's different advanced or expert and different number tiers, it's really based on, it looks like this power level number is really what's going on there. So rules that modifiers basically? Is that what I'm understanding? Modifiers? Or maybe rules is having certain things in your loadout? Gameplay, enemy power, scoring. So I'd imagine scoring's probably. Oh, you have apply modifiers on the right side as well. So you can apply your own modifiers, I'd imagine. All right.
I'm back.
Oh, I'm going through it.
Bathroom real quick.
I'm going through
What's
it.
that?
I'm going through it, man. I've already moved on. So, challenge customization. The major challenge to core game activities is that they all support deeper personal mastery and a corresponding deep reward offering. We'll start with PvE activities, then dive into Crucible and PvP, which present unique challenges. No shit. All of the PvE activities will now support robust challenge customization, exposed as new options alongside selecting the difficulty. Okay, so all of the PvE activities will now support robust challenge customization. Exposed as new options alongside selecting the difficulty. Okay, so Okay, I see what's going on. Be kind of curious because they have enemy power there. There's multiple screenshots. All right.
Part of my problem is that I think Destiny always wants to make things hard, and hard is not fun, and they haven't gotten the memo yet.
But Diet, you play hard stuff in Diablo.
No, I play fun stuff in Diablo, which can also be hard, but they're not directly the same.
So, safe to say, so as you add in more stuff, like as you select a higher difficulty, more stuff gets added on gameplay. The higher rewards you get, or more loot drops you get. You get more upgrade modules. Do we need more upgrade modules? No, man, we don't. Work in progress, mock-up, subject to change. Challenge customization gives you the ability to select and activate challenge modifiers, which affect the activity you are launching. These challenge modifiers may introduce new enemy combatant abilities to increase their threat, introduce new combat challenges that challenge how you play, provide incentives for changing up your build crafting. Provide incentives for changing up your build crafting. Okay. Raise the power target for the activity, globally increasing the difficulty. So the power target is a global difficulty increase, and then you got modifiers. That add on different threats. Introduce new combat challenges to the way you play. And then different incentives. Changing up your build crafting. Okay. See, that's kind of like something that you said you didn't like. You're like, I want to get with one good ass build, and I want to power through everything with that one good ass build. I can understand that. If I'm an Arc Titan, I want to do Arc Titan-y things. I don't want to do Void Titan-y things. Although Void Titan was fun as shit when I stopped playing. As a player, you'll be able to first select a base difficulty such as Expert, Grandmaster. The difficulty will set some base difficulty tuning and a power target. But more importantly, will determine how many challenge modifiers you can add on, and in some cases, which challenge modifiers are available. Higher difficulty means more challenge modifiers to slot and a wider variety of them to choose from. Reward rating. Rising to the right level of challenge can make an activity not only more fun to play, but more rewarding too. This literally goes against what you were saying, Diet. Rising to the right level of challenge can make the activity not only more fun to play, and you're like, no, difficulty is not more fun. All core game activities will support reward rating. All core game activities will support reward rating. All right. Which is a combined team and personal score that determines the amount and quality of rewards obtained at the end of the activity.
Wait. So if you just suck at life.
Yeah.
Like,
if you get your ass carried through, you don't get shit. You can straight suck on it. And Dan says, yeah. Dan says, you're not good at Gambit, so you're not going to get shit. What up, bud? How you doing, Dan? Welcome back to the States, bud. Just in time for you to go back out.
Yeah, I don't. Not feeling that. Bad chick told me there was some cool armor in the fucking Pale Heart Tower, and there's not.
Oh, you got into the game.
Yeah. I told you I was going to like claim the armor and log off because you know I love my loot.
Jesus. All right. So all core game activities will support reward rating, which is a combined team and personal score that determines the amount and quality of rewards obtained at the end of activity. So it's a combination of team and personal. Reward rating is increased by playing in an activity at a higher base difficulty, applying challenge modifiers, which have individual bonuses to reward rating, having personal bonuses from sources like power, artifacts, or buffs. Ooh. Okay. Here's how reward rating works. As a team, you'll earn a team rating over the difficulty determined on a per activity basis. Sometimes this will resemble existing systems like Nightfall Score, but new activity types can have their own way to determine team rating. This outcome is shared by all members of the team and will always try to mitigate competition between teammates for things like kill scores or specific setups. At the end of the activity, your team rating is multiplied by any personal bonuses you may have. This final multiplied value is your reward rating, and this value is used to determine the quality and quantity of rewards. Reward rating is used to determine things like the quality tier of the weapons and armor that drop, or the quantity of useful consumables like enhancement prisms or ascendant shards. In this way, you can select any core game activity, use your skill, and build to take on more and more challenging versions of it and earn higher and higher tier rewards.
All right, so let's talk about that statement there for a minute.
Which one?
What exactly is better rewards? A better roll of the gear? Is it a higher quality level of gear?
Probably a higher stat roll. I'd be curious what that means for weapons. But for armor, I'd imagine just a higher stat roll. He said, ask Dad if he wants to run GM quick in and out. Hey, Dan wants to know if you want to run GM real quick.
Fuck no. I just looked at this article and it said, oh, you can find the gear by exploring the surroundings of the tower. That's not what I was trying to do. I wanted to log in, get the gear, and log out. And now I'm not going to do that. I'm exiting the game.
But Diet, they just said it was at the tower.
No. The article says the gear can be found by exploring the surroundings of the tower in the Pale Heart. I'm not exploring shit.
But Diet, you haven't explored enough.
Nope. Not doing it.
Dan, I don't think he's doing it, bud. You need 6 for the title? I haven't. I ain't doing that shit.
You need 6 what? For the title?
He needs 6 GMs for the title, I'm assuming.
Mm-mm.
I haven't been on Destiny in probably a month.
You know,
you ain't running it, Dan? Okay.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't release some sort of like Destiny 1 remaster to go to the PC. Like,
yeah, you know what?
That would sell really, really well.
Yeah.
Just a PC port of Destiny 1.
Ooh, how does matchmaking work with challenge customization? Interesting. For activities that support matchmaking, for like those in Fireteam Ops, matchmaking will be available for some preset difficulties, but using challenge customization to enable different challenge modifiers will disable matchmaking. Okay, well, that sucks. While Fireteam Finder may be a good way to pick up some slack here, we also intend to feature higher challenge options on a daily rotation in activities with active bonus rewards. These activities should have concentrated enough population to ensure that matchmaking can do a good job setting up good matches with solid connections. Yeah, I mean, I'll be curious to see. I can't believe I read that whole article. Be curious to see what the deal is going forward. Glassway GM. I mean, dude, these things definitely could have been made. These screenshots could have been made in PowerPoint, dude. Because they got like Waking Vigil in here as a reward weapon. It's like, bro, I don't think you get Waking Vigil from freaking Glassway. Dan, what have you been playing, man? I haven't even seen you on. You been playing Smash Burger? Activity strikes, exotic missions, or entirely new modes like Onslaught. Diablo boy, I have duty every 3 days. Ah, dude, you got duty every 3 days? That sucks. You've been playing with Dan? Have you been playing with Dan?
I offered, and he was like, "No, I'm playing hardcore."
Oh, because you don't know about that hardcore life, Dan.
No, I got my achievement. I know plenty about the hardcore life.
Drunk Dan got it first.
You know, and that's great for him.
Dan's like, I only do hardcore. Awesome. What's the only difference between hardcore and normal? Is it just you can't die? That's the only thing that's different?
You can't die. If you die, your character goes to character heaven.
Rest in peace, character heaven. Yeah, that was activities.
Yeah, with Diablo, man, a lot of people play just permanently in hardcore. Like, it's pretty crazy. Dan, what's your character level up to?
What up, Merc? How you doing, Murky? What level is your character up to, Dan?
We should ask them to join the Discord, the group chat in the channels with the Discord, and then or the Can I Get a Revive Discord and see what they have to say.
Okay, Murky's good. You said might get WoW like Fisty did. Fisty's playing World of Warcraft? Is that what he's playing?
Oh yeah, dude, he's going hard into WoW Classic.
Okay. Level 3, I die. You died. Jesus. Yeah, Dan. You know what? He can't join this call because this is on our private.
No, that's what I'm saying. We should switch over to the
Hey, Dan, do you want to get on a call?
play in Discord, and I'll jump in.
Let me see what he says. If he's like, nah, man, I'm just chilling. I'm not going to worry about it.
He hates his friends. Got it.
He said yes, 2 seconds. All right. We'll go.
All right, cool.
We'll go to the. Which one are we going to?
The clan Discord.
All right, clan Discord.
I just wanted you to know that I died in Diablo so that I could join this call.
Well, nobody asked you to do that.
Your Sims.
Hey, man, your Steelers win yesterday? They beat the Falcons, right?
We did. We won.
Yeah,
We won.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm live streaming if you want to see some of this epic gameplay, sir. So you can see my mighty sorcerer and what it can do.
Let me see if I can bring it up.
Murky would really like the sorcerer this season. Just lightning spears everywhere, homie.
So you would really like Sorcerer this season?
Super strong. What did you say?
You gonna play hardcore? You gonna play hardcore together?
Why are we playing hardcore, Dan?
There's so many numbers, man.
Yeah, I'm killing everything, and it's not a problem. It's great. Feels wonderful.
You're just not good enough to play really tough games. It's okay.
Why do I have? Why is it about being good? Why can't I just have
Because
fun?
that's what games are about. They're about get
No.
good.
They're about having fun.
I had fun with you, Diet. I'm glad to know that you didn't have fun with me.
I was at a point where I was not having fun with Destiny. All right. Masses, normal monsters. Oh, we want the ether of us to swim 50% faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I got, man. I can't... Dude, it just depends on... I want to see more details. How much are they really going to change up gameplay? Because, dude, they can change up all the stuff outside the game. But it's like, are y'all really going to change up the gameplay? And it's like... That's the part they need to change.
The problem is Destiny has a core DNA, right? And it's so well known at this point that people say they want change, but anything outside that, players don't really tolerate it that well. You know, they were like, they tried to do the whole, oh, we're doing deck building with this season, and you know, they tried that with whatever the air season was, and people were like, this is stupid. I don't like it. I don't understand it.
What? Hold on. They tried what? They tried what with what season?
You ever played card games where it's like deck building, like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh or any of that crap?
There was a lot of people that kind of liked that season. I didn't play that season because I was just like, I'm done with this fucking season. I was done before that. The season of the witch. You're talking about season of the witch.
Yeah, a lot of people that didn't like it.
Oh well, I heard more good things about it than not. But
and there was a lot of people that and I'll admit it, I'm a hater of the fishing. They didn't like season deep when they tried to change that up. You know, so changing the core gameplay in Destiny is really risky because you have to do it the right way, and what the right way is different to different people. Me personally, I think they should take Destiny, the pure PvE route, take out Gambit, take out PvP, and just make it about being overpowered as hell and coming up with really crazy builds that break the game. And people are going to like that.
I would not disagree with you at all. I mean, I haven't been able to get into Destiny PvP pretty much ever in Destiny, but I definitely miss funny guns. I heard a lot of great things of funny guns. People who got things done during funny guns. And honestly, I think when they do stuff like that, I think that's them just testing the waters on things.
They didn't do that. That was a bug.
Uh-huh. Sure.
No, it was a bug where you crafted a certain weapon frame onto a different type of weapon that wasn't supposed to have it. And you could only do it if you were really, really fast at pushing the buttons.
I'm fast at pushing buttons. I'm fast at pushing Diet's buttons. All right, man. Fine. Fuck it.
Now, if they made a social event kind of like Funny Guns, where it's like, shotguns deal 400% extra damage, have fun for 2 weeks. Like, I think people would really like that.
All right.
Because it would break up the meta and shift things around within a season, you know? Like,
yeah. That, honestly, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Like, just a game, just like a PvE modifier of this weapon does like an extra 50% damage for the week.
No, not well, yeah, maybe this weapon, or maybe something like
this weapon archetype. This weapon archetype,
kind
like
of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like it, you can literally just log off the game for 2 weeks. Fine.
Man. It's like, we don't care. Log off.
Does Bungie care?
Yeah, they do because they're not making any money right now.
They haven't been making any money for a while.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I found out why the whole classic cars thing was such a big deal. With Pete Parsons, apparently he invited over employees 2 days before he laid them off to show off his classic car collection that he just purchased.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was like, oh, look at all this money I have, and then it was like
No.
later, you're fired.
No, one of the girls that got laid off, she said, "You literally brought me over to show me off your cars 2 days ago." Yeah, one of the girls said that. Yeah. Pretty brutal. Dude, and you know there's about to be a freaking axing of people. Yeah. It's better just to not talk to anybody.
Well, the crazy thing that I didn't realize is Pete Parsons wasn't one of the original Bungie 7.
No. Yeah, he came in with Microsoft.
He was outside from Microsoft.
Yep. He came over when they
And now
formed a partnership with Microsoft.
Yeah.
Oh, so how did that go down? So Microsoft owned Bungie.
And then they bought themselves out from under Microsoft.
So they didn't buy themselves out. They didn't buy themselves out. Because what they said was Microsoft owned Bungie. And they left and formed Bungie Inc. It wasn't Bungie. So there's probably more that goes into that whole negotiations, but like they had a split and like it went from Bungie to Bungie Inc. With the new group. And it was so weird with Pete Parsons because it was like they didn't want him, but then they kind of wanted to bring him back because he was the only one that knew the marketing.
Well, no, because they wanted him to act between, like a go-between between them and Microsoft.
Oh yeah. That was before the split, but like after the split, because after the split, when the Bungie Inc. group split off and they left, they're like, okay, we're off on our own. But then they needed a marketing guy, and that was Pete Parsons. So they brought him back over. They were reluctant to do it. They were like, yeah, okay, let's bring him because he's the only one that kind of knows it and like that we're comfortable with bringing. So they were like, okay, let's bring in Pete Parsons. So they went and brought him back in. so it's like, well, because that's what you're talking about, that guy that with that podcast interview.
The Marty O'Donnell interview, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that was the other thing I was going to invite you on here and ask you about. Do you see your favorite YouTuber lost like 300 pounds?
Oh, yeah, the Nicky Avocado guy? I was wondering if you were going to pick up on that.
So it was so funny because, well, dude, I only saw that because it was trending on X. I was like, "What's Nikito Avocado?" I thought I was gonna click on that, and it was gonna be like he died from like a heart stroke or something like that. I thought that's what I was about to see, but then it was like
the absolute craziest shit about it, though, right? So,
oh yeah,
he was on that content grind.
yeah,
Because as of like 2 weeks ago, he was uploading videos of him full size, which means that he had to record all that shit like months and months and months in advance,
yeah,
and schedule it out while he lost the weight. And he doesn't, it's weird because he doesn't look like he has any of the skin sagging stuff going on or anything. And like, there's just so many questions about it. Like,
well, I mean, you didn't see his full body. I imagine.
Didn't, but like around his head and his neck area is where a lot of that stuff shows up. and that all looked smooth and tight, and like, people were comparing.
That's what $1 million of YouTube money gets you, bud. Smooth and tight.
People were really going deep into it and comparing it and going, okay, well, this is what his teeth looked like, because they were like, well, maybe he recorded this video like 10 years ago before he gained all the weight back when he was
talk about doing some major plan ahead. Holy shit.
And they compared his teeth from the previous videos to the new video, and like, no, he had crowding before and all this other kind of stuff. Like, he's had work done, his teeth are straightened up now, so this is obviously like new Nick, not like old Nick. Like, people went really deep dive on this shit. It's pretty crazy, dude.
That is nuts.
I'm really proud of the guy for losing the weight.
Well, how did he do it? Did he do lipo or
unless it's all just AI generated and we don't know that yet. Like, if he fed his old image and videos into an AI and then
told him to shrink it down,
wrote a script and had them change his appearance or whatever, that could totally explain why there's no skin sag and stuff like that.
how do you God? What's his name?
Nicky Avocado.
How do you spell Nicky?
Just Google Nick Avocado. And you'll find the right guy. There's only so many of them, right?
Found it.
Well, you could probably just look up avocado weight loss. You're gonna get all kinds of like Ozempic ads now.
No, I did not get that. No, I did not look that up. Uh-oh, James Earl Jones, what? Oh, man.
What?
James Earl Jones passed away.
It's all good. His family is going to get a lot of money. He signed one of those deals where they can use his voice via AI in perpetuity in his likeness, and his family will get, his estate will get it.
Yeah, but damn, man.
Dude, he was old. He lived a good life.
Oh, I get it, but it's still, fuck, man. He was awesome. I loved watching anything he was in or involved in.
He was the original Shax. The helmet stayed on.
Yeah.
Dan, I would have thought you would have laughed at that joke. Come on.
No, I did, man. I did.
Dan, where you at? Wake up.
Oh, yeah, where's Dan? So, Mikado Avocado has completed one of the most compelling social experiments on the internet. While publishing pre-recorded videos, he lost 250 pounds, uploaded a shocking video, and looks like a completely new person. He looks like a new person. I
wonder if he went all vegan again, and that's how I lost.
I mean, I was
Because
kind
it's pretty difficult to gain weight if you're vegan.
I mean,
2 steps ahead of everyone. 2 steps ahead.
dude, this guy's like serial killer vibes with this little 5-second video he put out.
Today I woke up from a...
Hold on.
Today I woke up from a very long dream.
I can hear Murky
And I
now.
also woke
Dan,
up
are you there?
having lost
Dan, come back to
250
us.
pounds off of my body. Yet just yesterday, people were calling me fat and sick and boring and irrelevant. Today I woke up from a very long dream, and I also woke up having lost 250 pounds off of my body. Yet just yesterday,
Murky, don't
people
stop.
were calling me fat and sick
Yeah.
and
Hello?
boring
There's Dan.
and irrelevant.
There's
Dan.
Murky.
Okay,
What's
you're
up?
to hear them through your.
No. Whack. What up, dude?
You guys talk too much.
Whack?
No.
Yeah.
I guess I need a different headset so I can listen. So it'd be like that.
Dan, I will teach you the ways of PC gaming master race. It's okay.
Yeah. I'll think about it maybe when I get back.
You want him to teach you, not me?
No, I meant the PC gaming.
Whatever, I'll just play the same on $2,000 PC I built.
You love.
Murky, I appreciate the
My
fact that
fat
you built
ass
your
have to
own
work
PC.
out now because we're not.
Hey, it's a beautiful PC.
We're not
I
gonna.
know, I saw the
We're
pictures.
kind of embarrassed.
And I just got but yeah. Well, I told him
So seriously, like how long were those freaking recorded videos going? You think, Diet? Pre-recorded videos.
To lose 250 pounds, man.
That
We're
takes
talking about
some
like,
time.
Chicago.
yes, Murky.
No,
just
we're
join the
not.
voice
Go
chat
away.
so we can talk to you, not yelling through Dan's headset. Just join the voice chat. Dude, to lose 250 pounds, I'm guessing at least 6 months.
I mean,
And the
that,
style
dude.
of content that he was doing,
Oh,
where he was like just stuffing his body for hours on end with food. Like, I can't even imagine the torture he put his body in his stomach through.
You know what?
Trying to make enough of a backlog so that no one would notice while he lost weight for 6 months.
Do you know who got the most relief out of this?
What?
His toilet.
Dude.
I tried telling Dan about it last night, but he was like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh, you should send him that OnlyFans link where Nikki Avocado shows his butthole, and then be like, this guy.
Hey, Diet. How'd you know about his OnlyFans?
Dude, everybody knows about that shit.
Not me, buddy. I did not know about that.
Look,
I
man,
didn't know either.
when you have people of a certain level of degeneracy, let's say, the internet documents that stuff. Just like Chris Chan, Nikki Avocado has his own weird ass following, okay?
Oh, you guys saw Chris got busted?
Yes.
PS5 is going to have a technical presentation tomorrow
Oh boy.
in the
You're
morning.
just gonna announce the PS5 Pro. It's fine.
Oh,
Someone said that they were on TikTok said that they're announcing the PS already.
well, fine. we're done talking about Destiny 2 diet. I'm glad you got back into the game, buddy. It's the first step. It's the first step.
Give me something worth talking about.
How about Codename Apollo?
Can we just talk about the fact that shit is ironic as hell?
What?
All right. So the Apollo missions.
I figured you were going to go with the Apollo missions. Okay, I gotcha.
To launch something new and ambitious and eventually get a man on the moon. But Apollo 13 was a disastrous failure where people almost died. Okay? At this point, I would not be surprised if there was not some article coming out about some Bungie employee who was a fucking serial killer, and they almost hired him. They were like, no, we didn't hire a serial killer, but employees were at risk and people almost died.
Have faith.
In what?
Dad's got no faith.
In Bungie.
No. Let me tell you what has been a good gaming experience for me. Diablo 4, which I did not enjoy a ton on launch, has consistently improved season over season to be a way better experience than it was at launch. So for the past year, I've enjoyed a game that has just gotten better every single season, over and over and over again.
So what you're saying is they're at the Destiny 2. When was the Dreaming City launched?
A long time ago.
What expansion was that though?
It was the Forsaken expansion.
Forsaken. So they're at the Destiny 2 Forsaken expansion right now.
What I'm saying is that I'm enjoying my time in the game, and that's not something I could say about Destiny, and I haven't been able to say it in Destiny for a really long time.
Well, that's because you try to play all the hard stuff.
Well, what else? What else in the game is fun except the hard stuff? Like, I'm not just gonna play Gambit and Vanguard Ops for hours on end.
But you could play Gambit.
I could, but I wouldn't be having fun.
But Gambit is like pinnacle fun.
I'm just glad that you finally admitted, Diet, that the hard stuff is fun.
Look, man, I enjoy the loot and the power. You know what else I really don't like about Destiny? I'll tell you what else I really don't like about Destiny. I don't like the fact that I have to grind my ass off for hours and hours and hours on end to reach some arbitrary power level. And then the one way that I figure out how to do it efficiently, they're like, okay, now we're banning people for this. We haven't banned them for years, but, you know, AFK farming, no good. You're banned. Okay, cool. I'm just not playing Destiny.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. It's like, I mean, you do that, you ban people enough, and it's like people just aren't around. The more people you ban, the more friends get banned, and then the less people have to play with other people. It's like,
well, I haven't gotten banned. I just don't want to get to that point. Like,
I get you, but I mean, there are people out there that have gotten banned, and I'm sure there's other people out there that are like, well, my buddy's banned. I don't fucking feel like playing this game.
Yeah.
But the more people that get banned, that's just more fracturing of your player base. And it's like if they're doing something and your game allows them to do said something, then that's on you.
Why you banned me?
Let's be realistic, right? So there are going to be people that really want to play the game and they want to play in the high-end content, right? Or they want to be with an active group. And so as groups deteriorate and become less and less active, then the people who want to continue playing the game are going to find more active groups, and those groups will consolidate, and that's just the way of things. That's how Destiny's always operated in terms of clans and stuff like that. So, you know, I have no illusions that that's I think the player base is going to be fine. You know, they're going to find people are going to find people to play with, but it's really hard too because you look at it and go, yeah, but I don't want to have to go through all the assholes to find like 5 decent people to hang out with. And so they're just not a large percentage of those people aren't going to try and find a group. They're just going to solo it for a really, really long time.
Mm-hmm. You think Destiny should take the Diablo approach?
What do you mean by that?
Where you have, different world tiers. And, right? Because that's what Diablo does, right? They have different world tiers. And then if you go into a world tier.
I mean, it kind of sounds like they're doing that, but they're just doing it in a different way by using difficulty selectors. Because that's essentially what world tiers are, right? Except that you're not getting better loot. You're just making the content harder.
But you get better loot, though. Or do you get more loot, or is there new loot that you get along the way?
No, you just get better, like, higher quality items. So, like, let's say your power level of those items goes up.
Right.
Hang on a second. Let me answer this one.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
How long are you back for?
Yeah. Till Saturday.
What the? That's not enough time.
Saturday we deploy.
That's not enough time, man. Did you just get back like last week?
Yeah, it was like a month long though underway.
Damn. And how long you gone for?
Till January, supposedly.
Bro, that's football
Dude, that
season.
sucks.
That's all of football season.
Yeah, but I can definitely 100% see them saying, yeah, we can't fly you out, so you're just going to stay with us till April.
Oh, Jesus. Dude.
Yeah, so I'm like, ugh, we'll see.
So how many years do you have in now, Dan?
14.
Are you going to go the full 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. Because when I'm done with this tour, I'll be at like 17 or 18 years.
Yeah, go full 20.
But then I'll be back on shore duty, and I won't have to go on a ship anymore. So
Yeah, you should definitely get your full 20 and get all the benefits, man.
yeah, so if you don't hear from me in the next 9 months, that's why.
Yeah, stay in a couple more years, get your body a little more broken, get that 100% disability.
Yeah, I've been trying to get my body more broken. It's not working.
Just keep telling them that you have CTE because you bang your head on the rack every time you wake up.
I know. Oh, the way this ship is built, that's probably true. All right, boys. I'll catch you. What is it? Wednesday? Yeah, because I have duty again tomorrow.
Damn.
It's good hearing you as always. And yeah, I'll be back on
Jail.
Wednesday.
I
Go to
mean,
jail for installing illegal Starlink, okay?
I'm not. Made sure we had all the documentation for it.
All right, man. Take it easy.
later, buddy.
Later, boys. How do I?
I saw this article the other day.
Right there. I can call. Disconnect. No, right there. It's right there.
I saw this article the other day. Right as Dan tells me he's installing Starlink on his current ship, where this Navy officer for a warship installed Starlink without authorization. Yeah. Not a great look.
Damn it, dude. Puka Nakua just got placed on IR. He's on my fantasy team. This sucks. All right, man. I'm going to stop the stream. We had fun talking about Destiny 2. Diet's super pumped for it. He's excited about the new content, new changes coming. He said he'll never play Destiny 2 again.
Who was part of Astrocross's best fire team in AA? They quit for like 2 years and then came back, played for 2 weeks, and then quit again. Was it?
It wasn't Les. That was Bombat. Bombat.
Bombat. Yeah, I would be that guy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. I mean, I came back. I came back for the expansion. I did the expansion, did the raid.